Happy Workshop Wednesday, everyone. Got some familiar faces on today. So our usual host, Mary Keogh, is not with us today, but we've got Kim and myself, your famous customer success team at Map My Customers. We do have other teammates too, but I know we work with a lot of people, particularly on today's call. So I'll go ahead and turn it over to Kim to start things off, and then I will actually be driving most of today.
Awesome. Yes. So typically, Mary kicks things off with an icebreaker as we give people a second to come in. So, my icebreaker for today, now that we are officially in holiday season, Justin, what is your favorite holiday and why?
I guess I would have to say Christmas is my favorite holiday. I like spending time with my family. I have a relatively big family. I'm the oldest of four. We all live relatively close to each other in Southern California. And so it's just a nice time to spend time with each other. My one tip for Christmas for those who don't have young kids in the family, which was my extended family for quite a while. Now we have lots of nieces and nephews, is no presents for adults. So it just makes the holidays much easier, and you can just have a good time with each other and enjoy each other's company. And yeah, I always enjoy it myself.
We do a white elephant. We say nobody. You buy
Mm.
one present.
Yeah, that's good. That's yeah. I do that with my in-laws. We do either white elephant or Secret Santa, but yeah, it just sort of makes everything a little bit more relaxed, a little bit easier.
Well, happy November, everyone. So we'll go ahead and get started today. Like Justin said, he's going to be leading us, a lot of familiar faces here today. So hopefully excited to learn about some of the custom and advanced reporting. So it really is just a new feature that's going to allow you to have a lot more autonomy over the reports you're creating, what you are combining for information. So we're really excited for what it can do, what people have already been doing with it. So Justin, I will hand it over to you to kick us off.
Nice, thanks, Kim. So for today, as mentioned, we'll be covering the custom dashboards module in Map My Customers. So this is a newer feature that was released earlier this year. We had a few customers partner with us to trial and beta it, but now it's in general release and availability. And so for some of customers who've been with us for a while, it's not automatically included in your Map My Customer subscription. We'll talk about that. For newer customers, we recently introduced package tiers that specify what level of features you include. And our highest tier, it does include the custom dashboards module for some newer customers who've signed up for MMC in the last few months. But essentially, the reason why we built the custom dashboards module is, for anyone who's worked with the reporting and Map My Customers knows, we have great ability to export data. So you can export a list of activity, you can export a list of companies, get all the fields data, customize the order, filter for them to see just some particular region or particular sales reps accounts. But ultimately, at the end of the day, a lot of that is pulling out just data in spreadsheets. And so we know, really, particularly for sales leaders, you want to be able to see things at a glance and see how you're progressing towards core KPIs. So you want to be able to see calculated metrics, to see number of activities per rep, per week, or whatever time intervals you're looking for. You want to see things visualized, see a chart of which activities recorded, who recorded the most of particular types in a given month. And so that's where the custom dashboards module really shines, and I think will help solve some gaps for our customers in terms of easily seeing and processing information. We're actually working on some enhancements to our core dashboards module, so the dashboard that's been in Map My Customers forever, and hopeful that will be released in the next few months. But where custom dashboards really come in is that they really are custom in that you can use all of your fields at Map My Customer. So if you have a particular field that segments your accounts, looks at product lines, specific activity types that you've recorded, those are all things that work really well in the custom dashboards module. So I'm going to screen share the majority of today's presentation, but as you have questions, please go ahead and drop them in the chat. We'll be happy to answer them, and I'll go ahead and kick things off. So this is in a sample training account that we have, and our customer success team uses MMC. As you'll see very quickly, it's somewhat Harry Potter themed. But for those here on the dashboards module, click on reports from the upper navigation. Everyone will see a custom dashboards, at least team owners and team managers see this. I don't think sales reps see this. The custom dashboards module, if you don't have this, it won't necessarily show different reports available. It gives more information on how to upgrade and potentially add that to your account. And then, as mentioned, we have our legacy reports, the exports here, some of the performance reports with the stack rank, and then other just general reports here. But to give a feel of what the custom dashboards module looks like, I'm going to take a look at this check-in dashboard here. So because this is just a general account, this account doesn't really leverage as much of the custom fields. It's mostly using standard fields to map my customers, but hopefully it will give you a better idea of what we can do with the module in MMC. So if we look here, this is a dashboard that's designed to track the number of check-ins that have been completed by your sales team. So here, just general navigation, there's a lot we can do here. These are different filters. So you can filter for different time ranges, activity types, whether or not the check-in was verified or not, the distance of a particular check-in. As we see, one particular check-in was pretty far away, 3,000 meters away. You can filter for different team members and different users here. So again, this is all specific to this account we have set up here. Then along the top, we have different number blocks here that calculate and track. So across the entire organization, just because I haven't applied any filters for a particular sales rep or a particular date, we have 1,681 activities completed, 125 check-ins, 54 verified check-ins. And so just looking at this here, if this were a real sales team, I would be pretty disappointed that not a higher percentage of these were check-ins. Check-ins are specifically activities recorded on the Map My Customers mobile app by the sales rep pressing check-in. So we pull in their actual location, and then we can see whether or not they're verified. Verified meaning that they're within 100 meters of the location that they're checking in at. The specific distance in terms of whether or not a check-in is verified or not, it can be changed by default, and for most of our customers, it's 100 meters here. So if I were a sales leader, I'd want to see that this is, should be much higher. We can also, again, drill in for specific team members. So if I just want to look here at Harry Potter and see his metrics, he is not recording a lot of activities, but has a higher percentage of his activities being check-ins, and then a higher percentage of them being verified check-ins here. Scrolling down, have some charts here. So again, just looking at Harry's, I'll go back to select all the team members here. This chart looks to see how many check-ins have been completed and what percentage are true or not. So as we see clear here across the organization, Albus Dumbledore has the most number of check-ins. Harry Potter has the second, and then Hermione has check-ins here, but all of Hermione's are false. She, for whatever reason, is not checking in a way where she's either nearby or is doing something to make those check-ins invalid. Then here, we have a table here that illustrates, that shows just the recent activities recorded. So this is something that, can be downloaded and shared with a rep or just used to be audit locations here. So if we look across this, again, I'll filter in specifically for Harry. And so now we're just looking at Harry's check-ins here and activities on the chart. We can see which activities are check-ins or not. So this was just a visit recorded, but it wasn't a check-in. That's why it says NA here. And then the true here where it says verified check-in, that means Harry was within the radius. These false, you see they were a little bit farther away. So not within that particular radius here. So this is something that can be used just for a manager to audit and just see where their team member was and kind of check things from a compliance and activity management perspective. And then we even have here like a percentage of what percentage of Harry's activities were check-ins here we can see as well. So this is kind of just to give an idea of some of the things that are possible with the custom dashboards module. We actually have had some people who've seen this in a demo and then like, yeah, I like this. This is kind of the information I'm after. And we actually just copied and set this up in their account. But the nice thing about it being custom is that you can then filter other information. Let's say there's a field that you have your sales team record on activities, like did you meet with the decision maker? It's a one-click add to add that here as a column. And then we could even add that as a filter too, to see like, okay, let's check to see your check-ins, but then let's also see when or whether or not you met with the particular decision maker. So this is, I'll pause there just to see if there's any questions. Doesn't look like it so far. Okay, all right. So what I'll do is just kind of show some other sample dashboards I've built here to kind of get a sense of just kind of some of the things you can do with the custom dashboards module. This is another dashboard I like, companies requiring attention. So with companies requiring attention, this is designed to be something that a manager and a team member could look at together to see, hey, where are you falling behind in terms of reaching out to your book of business? So companies requiring attention here, again, we have our filters, we have different teams, can filter for different users. We can also filter for when was the last activity recorded and over cadence. So across the entire company here, we're not doing a great job here in Hogwarts from the Hogwarts sales team in terms of keeping up with our customer base. We loaded a lot of companies in, but we haven't actually reached out to most of them. So you can see, a count here again of total companies, and then ones never contacted. And then if you use the cadence feature in Map My Customers, a cadence is again setting to see, I'm going to see this customer every 30 days. Every 60 days, or whatever interval you choose, and whether or not you're in cadence here. So we're way out of cadence with all the customers. We've set that. But again, this is designed to show you that, hey, where are we falling short and what's going on with these particular companies. So I'm going to filter here again for just Hermione, because I know she has a lot of several companies assigned to cadence. So again, Hermione here has 100 companies that she owns. 70 of them she's never contacted. And then for those where she set up a cadence, she has not keeping up with them. So, and then again, designed here that there are different little action registers for Hermione to see, like, hey, these are things, the companies that you need to stay in compliance, that you've set up a cadence for, how far you're out of cadence with them. And then additionally, where there's been no contact at all. So these are all companies that are owned by Hermione that she has not contacted. So one thing I'll mention here, because I think this is kind of a good opportunity to look at this, is just talking about how the permissions work from the custom dashboards module. So you can choose what reports get shared out. Reports are not automatically shared with every team member, but let's say you do share them across the entire organization. The reports follow the general hierarchy in Map My Customers of the general hierarchy in Map My Customers in terms of who can see what. So we have 3 types of users. We have team owners or administrators who can see everything. That's still the case in the custom dashboards module. If you're a team owner, you can see everything. Managers would typically just see records that their team can access. So they would see their team members. If some things have been shared via groups, they would see those records shared via groups from other team members. But again, a manager is not necessarily, from your West region, is not necessarily seeing data from your East region unless those records have been shared with them in another way. And then for team members, they're just seeing the data about themselves. So if Hermione logs into this and sees the dashboard, she's just looking at her accounts here, or ones that she can access and then have been shared with her via groups. And so that way it's kind of has a very similar way of controlling access and seeing information, similar to how things work on the map now. All right, so this is, again, another dashboard, companies requiring attention, but we can do lots of things with this. I'll actually demo creating a dashboard in a minute. One last dashboard I wanted to take a look at is recording deals on activities. So essentially, one of the nice things is that with the custom dashboards module is that you can look at deals and kind of information across multiple objects in Map My Customers. So we have 4 major objects. We have companies, people, deals, and activities. If you're making an export of Map My Customers, you're typically just able to pull out fields on companies. Or if that's activities, I could pull in the company name, but I can't pull in other attributes about the company. One of the nice things about the the custom dashboards module is that you can pull data from different places together. So you could get a report to see, hey, what activities, how many activities have been recorded on companies of, in my tier A level. So let's say you have a field on companies that is a tier A field, and you have tier A, B, C. You could count how many activities have been recorded on tier A's, how many companies have been recorded on tier B's and tier C's. And so it's just a way to see all that information together. So this is just an example, for our customers that maybe use the deals module, it's like, how many activities do you actually have to record on a deal to get it to close? So in this particular chart here, we have deals. This is a list of deals. Each column here is a deal, and you can see how many activities have been recorded. So we see Great Dental has 4 activities, Tremont Dental has 2, Mass General 1, Pep and Sasha Auto 1, and then Tremont Family Dentistry 1 here. And then, we have different filters. You could filter to see how many different activity types. If you wanted to hone in just on lunches or visits or particular activity types, you could do that. Even deal stages, in order to win a deal, how many do we, activities are recorded, how many activities are lost, or particular funnels if you have multiple funnels in this. So it's kind of an interesting way to just visualize this information. Here you can see activities by funnel as well. And again, get a list of activities recorded on deals here. So this is just an example of kind of some of the things you can do. You can make different types of charts, bar charts, line charts, pull in tables, add in all sorts of filters here. All right, I will pause again for any questions before moving on to actually how you build some of these. Think looking good, Kim? We're all okay.
I'll get in the Q&A section. So in the
All right. So then here, creating dashboards. So with this module, we typically give one user in your company a ability to create dashboards. We actually provide consulting hours to, build out dashboards as well. If you've ever worked with something like a Power BI or Tableau, it's very similar to that. And you can just sort of build in different modules. We realize there's different levels of expertise in terms of building dashboards. So, if you have some great internal expertise, that's wonderful. I see Austin Green on this call from one of our customers, Jasper Engines and Transmissions. He is a wizard, I'll tell you that much. But we're happy to help too in providing and creating different dashboards. And that's typically part of the package if you do sign up for this and for your MMC account. All right, so I'm going to click to create a new dashboard. And here, the way we look and see, there's all sorts of different items you can add. There's number blocks. You saw in some of the dashboards I made different number blocks that exist, different filters. This is my date filter, different ways to just select information, bar charts, line charts, scatter plots, area charts, pie charts. All sorts of information here, and even some really cool things like conditional numbers here. So maybe if you wanted to set a target for a number of activities in a week, you could look to see like, okay, hey, if you hit 20 activities in a week, you're green. That's kind of our target that we have for you. Or maybe you have a higher volume sales target and you want your reps to get to 50 in a week. You could actually set it that's green, maybe 40 is yellow, 30 is red. So there's lots of cool things you can do here. So when I think about this, I sort of think of like, what am I trying to solve for? What I'm trying to just see some calculated KPIs. Am I trying to visualize some information here and take a look at that? So for this particular example, I'm going to take a look at just activities, particularly activities recorded by different types and wanting to be able to see that information. So I'll go ahead and just build this out here. So I think in this instance, what I'd like to see is I'd like to see a chart of activities recorded by my sales team across the various activity types I have in my organization. And so I've selected a stacked bar chart. So that way I could have a column for each sales team member. And then additionally, on top of that, I could have a segmentation to be able to see the different activity types that they're doing, to see what's the breakdown of lunches, what's the visit of meetings, calls, et cetera. So then here in my data, here my customers account, I have, again, my people, deals, companies, activities, and then this is going to pull in my data. So a lot of things, as we know, are fairly common. Every company has when you record an activity, you have to record a name, you have to record other information. Again, if I have custom fields on my activities, if I have custom fields in my companies, here's like a specialty, providers in attendance. These are discussion points. These are some things that may be specific to my org. I can pull all of that in. But for this particular example, we're just going to keep things simple and look at activity types. So I'm going to just say I want to measure activities. This is, again, something we train on, but to just measure the count of activities, we're measuring the name here. And then how I want to categorize them is by who recorded the activity. So in that instance, that's the owner here. I can do that and see the different activities recorded by various members of my team. But then I want to group them by type. I want to group them by activity type. And so now here we have this chart, and you see it builds in real time. And now we see you have a breakdown of different activities of various types. So these activity types are specific to this account. And then we can, but they would be specific to your account based off of whatever custom activity types you've set up. So within this, there's a few other different things we could do here. So within the settings here, just general best practice, I like to give my charts a name because if someone's looking at them later, they can take a look at them. So I'll just do activities by rep by type. I can do things like show the value in the bar. I always like that. So that way I actually see, I can see the breakdown here. So Draco's recorded a lot of meetings here, and that's why he has 997 of them. Whereas Albus has recorded a lot of tasks, different visits here. You can see this information. And oops, click back here on the settings. And then there's other things you can do, kind of how you order them. Do I want to order them by right now they're ordered alphabetically by the owner. I'd rather order them by the measure. So that means who sees the most. As we see this is ascending, I'll do descending. So that way the people with the most activity show first on the chart and the people with the least activity show last on the chart. So again, just simple breakdown of activities by type. So a couple other things here, and again, this is kind of more art than science, but when building dashboards, I like to then build in things like filters and get different filters and information here. So the first thing I'll do is drag in a date range here filter. So this is a date filter option, and then I can do something like completed date. So as you can see, you can do auto groupings here. You could group by dates, months, weeks, years. I'll just keep things simple and do a date. And then here, I'll go ahead and get into some of my settings. Give this a title, and we'll name this activity date. And some cool things here is that there are different time selections. So you can specify the default time selections that here are available. So with this today, this month, right now, it just starts off all time. And you can even specify like when this starts up, default to this month, if that's the default view that you'd like to have be included. I'll leave things for all time within this purpose. And then as I showed in different filters here, filtering for different team members. So we have a couple different options with that. I accidentally added that to the bottom, so I'm just going to drag that up here. And then pull in our different team members if I wanted to filter by that. Actually, we'll do type. That's probably a better example here. We'll just filter by activity types. So here I just pull in my type. And then again, this lists these out. So this may actually be better just from a formatting perspective if I put this over to the left here and then maybe make the chart a little bit smaller and put it on the right. Cool. And then we'll do the same thing with the name here. So again, you can control all this and how these work and how you'd like to select these with any of these. If I just select meetings, let's say I just wanted to hone in on meetings, I can see here that Draco has the most meetings and then see filter down here. So again, very simple and kind of, it's a great way to visualize and see this information in a way that it's kind of, to be perfectly honest, a little hard to do in Map My Customers now. And the other cool thing is that you can pull in your specific fields. So again, let's say you wanted to filter for activities on decision maker, you have a field that marks whether or not you met with the decision maker, you could pull that in and see that information there. Just to kind of extend this out, I'll do one more example of some things we can do here. So you saw in some of the dashboards I made, we had a chart with a table with different information. I'm actually going to do a pivot table here. And so this is then a calculated field here, and we can pull in information. So one of the things I want to see is I want to see the type. Here in this case on my rows, I want each row to be a owner. So that's a user. So who's recorded those activities. So here we have the different owners here of this, and this is giving us a count of their various activities. Actually, I think it's counting records they own from a company. But I'm going to then also take a look at their types or count group by various types. So we're going to just put in the columns here. And now we can actually see a breakdown of some of the same information, just visualized a slightly different way here, where it is breaking down different activities by type here in just a chart view. And with any one of these dashboards, again, they're able to be downloaded. You can also, for any tables, you can download them Excel. If you go back to the view model here, I'm going to refresh this. So that new dashboard I just made, I probably will go back and give that a name. But here within this, I can download the entire dashboard, export this. It will export into like a like a PDF or image file. But then here from this, I can download this into Excel if I wanted to get this in Excel to see that there. So very powerful tool to get this information. And additionally, we also support showing these dashboards on the tablet or a mobile app too. There are some things in terms of the design here. The design, obviously it's going to look a little bit different on a mobile app just because of the real estate on the screen. So you can choose whether or not you want to show a particular field on the mobile app. So maybe this table doesn't work so well on the mobile app. So I sort of take that out from the mobile view. But you can customize that just because your sales team is probably working a little bit more in the mobile app typically because they're out in the field than on the desktop version, if you want to be able to share down some metrics to them. So I think that's most of what I wanted to cover today. I'd be happy to answer questions. Maybe if time allows, if someone had a specific thing to share, if we could take a look to see if it's possible to do within custom dashboards. Just to share a little bit more about how some of our customers are using this currently. One thing I'll share as an example is a kind of, again, different dashboards that are designed to be sort of a KPI tracker for between a manager and a sales rep that they can view on a regular basis to see, are you keeping up with your accounts over cadence? So very similar to that account I had with companies requiring attention, just are you keeping up with those, the accounts that you're supposed to be seeing, something that can be reviewed in a one-on-one. We actually have one company that they use Map My Customers to track client expenses. So there's some custom fields that they have on their activities to record expenses. And so we built a dashboard to sum all the expenses. So that's one of the nice things you can do is you can also sum things. While we've been counting these numbers here, like let's say I had a field on my activities to say, hey, I spent $50 on lunch or I spent $20 buying donuts here. If you record that in Map My Customers, we actually sum that. So I could take a look at Kim's activities for the week and see, hey, Kim recorded 20 activities this week, but she also spent $250. Is that on budget? And kind of seeing a chart to see that over time as well. So lots of cool things we've seen so far. Really looking forward to working with more customers and getting kind of your use cases solved and figured out in terms of how we can introduce this and help you leverage it in MMC. So with that, I will go ahead and wrap up in terms of kind of what we're looking to cover in terms of functionality. I'll wrap up by covering how to actually get this in your account. I would say the simplest thing is to contact your customer success rep, your customer success manager. If anyone is on a personal plan, you can contact support, although this is more designed for team accounts than for personal accounts. And then we could give you a personalized demo and then also share pricing. Some of it depends on the size of the team in terms of how many people will be using the dashboards and there's the level of consulting help potentially too. But we're happy to help and really feel like this hopefully provides a lot of value in your usage of Map My Customers, really helping solve, getting some calculated information and data right away, something that you could share up to leadership in terms of summarizing your KPIs for the quarter. Additionally, going down the opposite direction, something that a sales rep could see how they're tracking against core KPIs you've set out, and then also helping your management team keep everyone online there too. So it's been a light question day. Any questions you have, Kim?
No, nothing to add from my side. And yeah, if anyone wants to raise their hand or throw it in the chat, we can definitely unmute you as well.
But if there's nothing else, if you don't have any other questions, that's it in terms of what we had to share with you today. We really appreciate you joining us. If we'll stick on for just another minute in case there is anything, but otherwise, happy, wonderful Wednesday. And thanks for spending some time with us.
Thank you.